Let us examine our protagonists. On one side, Johannes Zukertort, a crowd favorite, a man of legend. He claimed to speak 9 languages, fought in several wars, received decorations, and wrote philosophical treatises. His chess mirrored his stories, brilliant, explosive, romantic. A student of the great Adolf Anderssen, Zukertort treated chess as art. If he could not win beautifully by sacrificing his queen, for instance, the victory felt hollow. On the other side, Wilhelm Steinitz, the Austrian bulldog, short, physically impaired, hot-tempered and stubborn. Unlike Zukertort, Steinitz did not seek applause. He sought truth. Steinitz was the first to voice what sounded insane at the time. An attack must be justified. He argued that chess is a science. You cannot attack merely on inspiration. You must accumulate small advantages, suffocate your opponent positionally, and only then deliver the decisive blow. The Romantics mocked him. They called his style dry and cowardly. But Steinitz was prepared to prove his point at the highest possible cost. The match conditions were brutal even by modern standards. First to 10 wins. Draws did not count. No rapid chess. No tie breaks. Pure classical chess hardcore. Time control. 30 moves in 2 hours. Today that sounds standard. Back then, it was an endurance marathon. But the geography was even more remarkable. The match unfolded across 3 U.S. cities: New York, St. Louis, and New Orleans. It was a touring spectacle, more like a rock star roadshow than a sporting contest. Zukertort was the favorite. 3 years earlier, at the London tournament, he had finished 3 points ahead of Steinitz, winning a game still referred to as immortal. Steinitz craved revenge, but the beginning of the match became his nightmare. Game 1, Steinitz wins. It appears his scientific method works. Then the inexplicable happens. In the next 4 games, Zukertort sweeps him off the board. The score becomes 41 in favor of the Romantic. The New York crowd is ecstatic. Attacking chess triumphs. Steinitz's critics rub their hands. We told you so. His positional theories are nonsense. Talent and imagination will always defeat dry logic. Steinitz looks disoriented. He tries to play sharply, accepts Zukertort's challenges in open positions, and each time is struck down tactically. It seems the match will end in a rout before the next city is even reached. Steinitz needs a miracle, or a complete reset. The caravan moves to St. Louis. And here we witness one of the greatest examples of sporting psychology. Steinitz analyzes his mistakes. He realizes, I cannot outplay Zukertort in chaos. I must drag him into the swamp. He stops taking risks. He begins playing closed openings. He constructs pawn chains. He locks the position. Zukertort, accustomed to space and attack, begins to suffocate. He feels uncomfortable, bored, uncertain. His brilliant tactical blows crash against Steinitz's concrete wall of defense. His health begins to falter. Zukertort was physically fragile, and the strain of the marathon starts to break him. He complains of insomnia. In St. Louis, Steinitz wins 3 games and draws 1. The score is level, 40 for excluding draws. The psychological advantage now fully belongs to the Bulldog. The final act unfolds in New Orleans, the city where the legendary Paul Morphy once lived. Here, Zukertort completely collapses. Steinitz is merciless. He senses his opponent is broken and methodically, move by move, implements his positional principles. The accumulation of small advantages turns into an avalanche. Zukertort wins only one of the final 10 games. On March 29, 1886, in the 20th game of the match, Johannes Zukertort resigns. Final score: +10, 5 = 5. A convincing, crushing victory for Wilhelm Steinitz. 2 years after this match, Johannes Zukertort died. It is said his heart could not withstand the strain of those years. Wilhelm Steinitz officially became the first king of chess. But his greatest achievement was not the title. In this match, he proved that chaos can be subordinated to order. That logic is stronger than emotion. The Romantic era ended. The era of professional chess had begun, an era we still inhabit today. But the true significance of the 1886 match extends far beyond a single title. Steinitz did not merely win a contest, he established a paradigm. He formalized positional concepts, the accumulation of advantages, the importance of pawn structure, the evaluation of imbalances. What seemed dry became foundational doctrine. Future champions built upon his framework. Emanuel Lasker refined psychological resilience. Jose Raul Capablanca demonstrated positional clarity. Bobby Fischer fused calculation with classical principles. And in the modern era, players like Magnus Carlsen continue to demonstrate the enduring power of small, incremental advantages. The 1886 match was not just the birth of a world champion, it was the birth of modern chess methodology. From romantic sacrifices to scientific evaluation, from chaos to structure, from inspiration alone to calculation and principle. That is why this match still matters. Because every time a grandmaster improves a position before launching an attack, the shadow of Steinitz is still there. What Steinitz introduced was revolutionary. He articulated principles that now form the backbone of chess theory. The value of the bishop pair, the weakness of isolated and backward pawns, the concept of overprotection, the transformation of advantages. Before him, players attacked because they felt like attacking. After him, attack required justification. He proved that a premature assault is objectively unsound, that an attack must emerge from positional superiority, better structure, stronger squares, healthier king safety. His ideas were initially ridiculed, but history validated them. Emanuel Lasker absorbs Steinitz's logic and added psychological warfare. Jose Raul Capablanca refined positional harmony to near perfection. Alexander Alekhine fused scientific foundations with dynamic aggression. A century later, Bobby Fischer revived classical clarity. And today, Magnus Carlsen wins countless endgames, not through fireworks, but through microscopic, almost invisible advantages. Modern engines confirm what Steinitz intuited without silicon assistance. Sound structure outlives spectacle. The 1886 match was not simply the coronation of the first world champion. It was the moment chess transitioned from romantic art to analytical discipline, from brilliance to system, from inspiration to calculation. Every positional squeeze, every long endgame grind, every patient accumulation of small edges traces back to that board in 1886. That is the true legacy. Not a crown, a revolution.